Hello and welcome to another episode of What Travis Says. My name is Travis. Let's talk about Doctor Who. Jodie Whittaker is the 13th Doctor. I just want to lead with that because there is a small minority, albeit a very loud small minority, that think that if they comment on Twitter videos or if they post on Twitter enough that they will stop it from happening, but Jodie Whittaker is the 13th Doctor. And even though we have very little to go on for the next season with a new showrunner, a new Doctor, 0 companions, we can still speculate on some of it. The 12th Doctor has lost his companion, and he's about to go on an adventure with himself, during which he will regenerate, and then she will need a new companion, presumably. There are 2 reasons why a companion is very important for the Doctor, and why Jodie's Doctor will follow suit. Number 1, a companion helps us, the viewers, experience the show better because the companion will ask questions and we get to experience these adventures through a new set of eyes. The Doctor may know full well what's going on in front of them, but viewers can connect with a companion that's able to give exposition. And number 2, a companion helps the Doctor stay grounded. Loneliness is important to avoid as well, but being grounded is very, very important for the entire universe. And without a companion to keep the Doctor grounded, you eventually get Time Lord victorious, and no matter the physical changes that a Doctor goes through, you don't ever want Time Lord victorious around, at least for very long. Which begs the question, what type of companion will the 13th Doctor have? Will it be a male, female, human, alien, from the future, from the past, from the present? Well, multiple sources have indicated that actor Kris Marshall may be the next Doctor's companion. Now, if the name Kris Marshall sounds familiar, it should, because he was in the running to actually be the 13th Doctor, and there were so many people who were so sure that he was going to be cast as the 13th Doctor. Now, in Monday's video about sexist comments about the female Doctor, those were the extreme, irrational, hateful comments just about the Doctor being a female. But some people took that as me saying, well, if you don't think Whittaker should be the next Doctor, then you're sexist, which is not at all what I meant, and I even gave a little explanation at the end of the video. But I feel it says a lot about those people that paint themselves in such a negative light. Anyway, what I'm saying is that there are some legitimate concerns and hesitation about casting Jodie Whittaker as Doctor number 13, and none of them have to do with her gender. But we don't know how she's going to play the role. We literally have no information to go on other than the fact that she's a female and that she can lift off a hood. Being nervous about a casting choice is natural in all casting, especially with a show about change such as Doctor Who. What I'm getting at is that there were people that were so dead set sure that Kris Marshall was going to be the next Doctor that was already in the back of their head that if anyone else was cast, they were going to be upset either way. In fact, anyone else in the role just does not sit right with them, and I understand that. There were many insider real-world happenings that convinced so many people that Kris Marshall was going to be the next Doctor before Jodie Whittaker was actually announced. 1, he left his detective drama Death in Paradise in February, right as Peter Capaldi was announcing that he was leaving Doctor Who. 2, bookies favorited Marshall to play the Doctor so much that they had to suspend the betting. 3, not to mention all these fake rumors from a bogus source that claimed that Kris Marshall had already joined the cast of Doctor Who and that Capaldi was regenerating at the end of the season and not in the Christmas special. However, it has recently come out that Kris Marshall might actually be in the show Doctor Who, just not as the Doctor. Probably. Now, this is an unverified source being reported on by The Sun, so take this as you will. The source said that bosses of the show are trying to get Kris involved with the show in some way, saying that he's a really big fan of the BBC and Doctor Who, and that they are a really big fan of his. Regardless, a BBC spokesperson has come out and said that the Doctor's companion has yet to be cast. And as I've said before, whenever I see Kris Marshall, all I can think of is Colin from Love Actually. I've watched some of Death in Paradise, but as a companion, I wouldn't want him to be the kooky, klutzy Rory type. Even then, Rory was great because he had Amy as a balance. They were so opposite sometimes that they were able to just balance each other out. And because of their balance, it allowed the Doctor to be a little kooky as well. But if recent casting announcements are any indication, these are just rumors and that they should be taken with a heavy grain of salt. So Kris Marshall left Death in Paradise the same time that Peter Capaldi announced that he was leaving Doctor Who. Kris Marshall said that it was because he just didn't want to do that to his family, just moving around so much. So people see that happening and they run with it, and then Kris Marshall is going to be the next Doctor, but then Kris Marshall is not the next Doctor, so what's the next best thing for him right now? Doctor's companion. It's similar to what happened before a few years ago. Do you remember Michelle Ryan? No. After Michelle Ryan came from Britain to the US to be on The Bionic Woman, that show only lasted for 8 episodes, and then she went back to Britain. Matt Smith had just been cast as the Doctor, but they had yet to announce his companion. It was around this time that Carey Mulligan was also rumored to be the next companion, Sally Sparrow, which I think could have been great. But sources in the BBC claimed that Michelle was having secret meetings with the BBC executives and producers, saying that she and Matt looked great together and that she was probably going to be the next companion. Michelle had left her show, came back to Britain, rumors of secret meetings, it looked like it was obvious, and then relatively unknown actress Karen Gillan got the role. So like I said, this is all just speculation and rumors and talk and jibber jabber and don't believe anything unless the BBC announces it. I guess this is one of those reasons why I don't get into speculation on who is going to get what role, especially for television shows in other countries, because I don't know every actor and actress and what goes through people's heads when they're casting for different things. It is a completely different world. Even shows in America, I don't bother myself with speculation on who's gonna get what, unless there is some outlying or interesting information that I want to talk about. And I saw this Kris Marshall thing start to blow up today, and I just wanted you guys to know, don't believe everything you hear, because it probably won't happen. But hey, if it does happen, okay. As always, my name is Travis. Thank you for listening to what I have to say, and you will see me tomorrow.